Hi, this is Jim at Auto Parts. Tonight we're going to be putting on the KAP485362DR. And that bracket fits the driver's rear or the passenger front, 2013 and newer, 485362 and 66 engines. Also fits the 4.3 V6 direct injection. I'm going to show you how to get this bracket on, and the simplest thing I can tell you right now is take the liner out of the wheel well, take the wheel off. Makes things much easier. You can do it from the top too, but I recommend doing it from the bottom. Make sure everything's safe, make sure you got stands underneath if you're doing this, and we're going to show you the bracket. The bracket is here, the instructions. It's a US part. We build all of our parts, they're US made. And the instructions are all here detailed on telling you how to do it. There's a red card in here telling you to make sure that if the bolt is broken in the manifold, that it is just slightly below the edge of the outer edge of the manifold. Otherwise our bracket will hit the bolt. There is a bracket on the front of the head you're going to have to remove. I've got it here. It's one bolt. It holds a wiring harness with a little clip, and then the bottom of it locks into your air intake hose. You can reinstall this bracket on top of our bracket, so just take it off temporarily. Our bracket is held on with one bolt and a pin. The pin is there to help with installation. Like I say, this bracket also fits on the driver's rear. The driver's rear is tighter back there, so you will have to work with, the pin helps you a lot because you only have to work with one bolt. The other thing is on the driver's rear, you might find a ground strap on one of our holes that we use here. If there is a ground strap, remember to try to clean the metal off on our bracket, clean it off with sandpaper or grinder, and reinstall that ground on top of that bracket. And make sure that bolt is tight, because that is your ground. All right? Make sure the pinch bolt is back. Like I say, this is KAP485362DR. Okay, we're going to go into installation. We did take zip ties and zip tie down the heater hoses just to get them out of the way to make it so it's easier to get at, and also so you can see on the video. Broken bolt is up in the front corner. This is the passenger front application. Like I say, we do put this bracket on the driver's rear too. So we got the bracket off already that I showed you over there that was bolted on the front. The wiring harness is pulled to the side. We put some anti-seize in the hole already. We checked the hole to make sure it's threaded clean. And the bracket, like I say, has a pin. So we go up in here with the pin. You lock it right into the hole in the front of the head. Pretty simple. We've got a 13 millimeter head on the bolt. So you got to use a 13 millimeter wrench. And get the bolt caught. This bolt, like I say, it can be just pulled down good and tight, especially if you got a ground strap on it. All you need really is a 13 millimeter hand wrench, or a hand wrench or a ratchet. Okay, we got it pulled down. Okay, we got a 17 millimeter then socket for tightening the pinch bolt. Now, the pinch bolt in the instructions is at 25 foot-pounds of torque. If you can't get another torque wrench, just make sure you pull it good and tight. I'm not talking using a breaker bar, but a regular ratchet, regular hand wrench. I'm actually going to cut these zip ties because it's a little bit in my way. Here, I'm going to cut these off so we can get in here better. There we go. Now we can actually see what we're doing here now. You see the zip ties work temporarily very well, but okay. So 17 millimeter. There's your pinch bolt. And pull it down. And like I said, don't be shy. Not a big breaker bar, but pull this down good and tight, not just snug. I don't want just snug, I want it tight. As you can see, I am pulling good and hard on there. Okay, that's basically the installation of this bracket. Now, I didn't do it because of the video here and it's hard to get in or to show you, but like I say, if you want to put your tin bracket back on for your air intake hose, you don't have to have it. I mean, it's there. I would recommend probably putting it back on. So if you were going to put the bracket back on, put it on top of our bracket, just like it is here. And just like I say with the video, it'd be so hard. But here's the bracket. Goes up in here, goes right back on with that. Also, the wiring harness zip ties onto the bracket too, so make sure you do that. That concludes our video for the 485362DR. Go back and double check it after maybe a week or so on the pinch bolt to make sure it's tight. If you got any questions, call us at Crawl Auto Parts. Remember, our parts are always US made and we are mechanics. Give us a ring if you got any problems too with application. One thing I was going to remind you on these direct injection LS engines, the newer ones, the dipstick locations are usually on the driver's side on those for the oil. But some of them are on the passenger front, especially the newer ones. The passenger front dipstick will actually mount to the same bolt with where that bracket is that I'm showing you. So the dipstick can be right up in this front corner. I want to double show you, then I'll show this to you. But the dipstick on some of the 6.6s especially can be right up in this front corner here. And if that is, the dipstick bracket for mounting goes on top of our bracket, this single bolt. Again, if you got questions, please call us. Thanks again. This is Jim at Crawl Auto Parts, and give us a call if you got questions. Thank you.